Hey guys, welcome to Washington Park. It's me, Mr. Kevin, and it's our STEM or STEAM craft today. I hope you guys are doing well and ready for a little science and a little craft time. I'm super excited to be here at the Washington Park Library, and I'm glad to see you. Fantastic. So let's go over what you'll need for today's craft. All right, so we'll need some coffee filters. We'll need a couple of small cups. Got these here. We need a couple colors of markers, the non-permanent kind, just regular markers. I got a pencil, trusty old scissors, some water, and some pipe cleaners. All right, you excited? Yeah, me too. How's the weather where you're at? The weather here's been nice, a little cooler than I expected. It was warmer earlier today. So today's craft, oh, it's super exciting because it's science-based, one of my favorite subjects. And we're also going to be working with colors, which are also some of my favorite things, the whole spectrum of the rainbow. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take a marker, right? And we're going to take one of our coffee filters. Okay, we're going to flatten it out a little bit so it's easy to draw on. Then we're going to do a big circle in the middle. And we want to do it, you see this natural circle here? We almost want to do it right there. We don't want to do it right in the middle. We want to leave a little bit of room. So maybe about 1.5 inch, 2-inch diameter here. I'll show you. Okay, then I'm going to darken it up a little bit. And it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the best part. Just you draw any type of circle you want. It's all going to work. All right, so I'm going to darken this up just a little bit. All right, you see how I did that? So we got enough room in the middle. Now, just to remember what color it is, I'm going to write down the color right here, right in the middle, in pencil. So I'm going to write down here, B-L-A-C-K. All right. Now, we fold it back. So this circle is on the outside. If we fold it this way, we're going to fold it in half. And then we're going to fold it in one more triangle, in quarters. Okay, see how we have that there? Just like that. So I want you to do 2 more of these in 2 other colors. So I'm going to do brown. And I'll give you a hint. Sometimes the darker colors work better for this experiment. So what are we going to see? That's the next question. What are we going to see? Well, we're going to dip these in water, believe it or not. And then what's the water going to do? Well, the water is going to make the ink run. Okay, so just color in your second circle. Okay, so color it all the way in. Nice big circle there. All right, great. Then we're going to fold it the same way. Or before we fold it, we're going to write in the middle what color it is. And this was brown. B-R-O-W-N. Just so we're paying attention and we know what we're doing. Great. Okay, and we fold this in half. Fold this in quarters. Okay, now we have these two. Now you can make 3 or 4, whatever, however many cups you have and however much time you have. So now we're going to be putting this in here just like this. Now if you notice, if you look really close, that does not touch the bottom. We do not want the circle touching the bottom. We want just to dip the tip in the water, and we do not want to get the marker wet. So we're going to open it up just a little bit like this, and so it stands in there just like that. All right. And so the water is going to be at the bottom. We're going to pour some in, and the water is going to run. And it's going to do this thing called capillary action. So that means the water will be below, and it'll just touch the paper. And then the paper will draw it up, and the water will travel through the paper. And then it'll travel through the ink. And this brown color is actually made up of many other colors. And they're solids. The inks are solids. And so when the water runs through the solids, it will pull the ink up. And some ink will flow, and some ink will flow quickly, and some ink will flow slowly. So we're going to get a gradation of different colors. So the color is going to run. It's going to start brown here, but then it's going to change. And all the colors that are in the brown are going to be spread out up like this. Let's do this one, and then I'll show you a couple that I made. All right, so we're just going to pour a little bit of water in, maybe like about a 1/4 inch. We don't need a lot. Okay. All right, so now we're going to just dip this in here. Now again, we're not going to dip the whole thing in. We're just going to let the tip touch the water. Okay. All right, so that's just a little bit touching the water. You can see. You see that? All right, and then we're just going to let this sit over here for a couple of minutes, and then we'll do the same thing with the black. And then, because I did it earlier, I'm going to show you some amazing results. Okay, see how it's just dipped in just a little bit. Oops. Okay, then we're going to let this hang out off to the side. All right. As you can see that, it's just dipped in just the nose. Remember, we don't want to get the marker wet. All right, and then we're going to let that sit for a minute. But now, let's look at the results. Okay, so this one was the least interesting, but can you see what color that is? Green. Yeah, so look at, did you know that there's yellow and green? Maybe you did, because when you're in school, when you mix paints, sometimes you make yellow and blue, make green. Yeah. So this bled, it started as a circle, and then it bled out here, and the yellow ink traveled the farthest. So that's why the edges are yellow, and then the interior is like a light green, but then it gets a little blue on the edges. So cool. Let's look at another one. All right, so this one's cool. This one is the purple. Look at that. So it started off as a dark purple ring, and then it separated out. Yeah, the magenta or the fuchsia traveled furthest. So that's why this is magenta or fuchsia up along the edge here, and then the bluish color stayed in the middle. Want to see another one? Great. All right, now this one's the most amazing one. See that? Look at all those colors. We got red, we got bluish green here, we got some pink and yellow and a little brown. And do you know what the original color was? Can you guess? Can you read it? Yes, it was black. That's amazing. We took all those colors and they were solid in the center, and then they bled out and they all traveled at different rates. So we have different gradations of color. Pretty amazing. So that's what the black ink will look like. And we'll check it out in a little bit. All right. So now, while we're waiting for these to change, we have to think, what kind of craft can we do with these? Well, I got two ideas. Number one, if we have a green pipe cleaner, we can make a little bit of a stem like that. I just made a little leaf here, just twisting it. Okay. And then we're going to take a little hole and we're going to poke a hole right in the middle. I'm going to press that in just so slightly. And then that'll hold it. And there we have a beautiful flower. Check that out. Like that? Yeah, we can put this in a vase and it'll stay that color the whole time. What else could we do? Well, if we get one of these interesting colored ones here, okay, we can fold this to the middle like this, and then this to the middle like this, fold it in half, just like that. Did you see that, how I folded that in half? All right, and then we're going to crunch it like this. Crunch it, crunch it, crunch it, crunch it, crunch it. Crunch it in the middle like a bow. And then we're going to cut our pipe cleaner in half. We're going to go like this. We could spread that out a little bit. And we got a nice little butterfly. Pretty neat, huh? So we got our flower and our butterfly. Super cool. And you could do this and you could make whatever craft you want out of it. But the science is amazing. It's really amazing. The chromatography is watching the colors separate. So cool. Well, thank you so much for joining me today with Mr. Kevin's STEM or STEAM craft. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm glad to be at the library. And please pay attention because on Thursday, Miss Amy will be doing her craft or story, and she's going to be doing some book art or some drawing. So cool. Maybe some coloring pages, but you got to tune in to find out. So stop on in on Thursday to see Miss Amy at 6:30. Thank you guys so much for joining me here at Washington Park Library at Providence Community Library. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and please visit us here at the library. We have activity bags for kids that can come up and pick up a new one every week. And we have some makerspace bags. Those are also activity bags. Come on down and say hello. And we look forward to seeing you. Thank you for joining me today for Mr. Kevin's STEM or STEAM Craft Time. I appreciate it. Be creative. Bye now.